What's up, guys? Welcome to A Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to my channel. I am excited to announce that I'm going to be starting the 10K on the Bay challenge again, which is listing 10,000 unique items on eBay. It's going to be a little bit different this time because I'm also going to cross list on Poshmark and Mercari at the same time. I also have a lot more experience now. I also have help, and I think it should be really interesting and fun to do it again a couple of years later. And with a lot more experience under my belt, should be pretty fun. If you want to follow along, I do have the links to my stores, eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, in the description below if you want to follow along. Right now I have about 400 items in my store. I predict it'll take about until Valentine's Day next year. So if you like this type of content and you want to follow along, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to get updates, hit that notification bell and it'll update you each time I post a new update. Let's get straight into it. There are 5 reasons why I have decided to try this again. The first one is I love the margins. I'm hoping to at least double my money after everything's said and done each time I invest in something. And that's very difficult if you're selling brand new items. As you guys know, if you're selling the items for the first time, that's more like retail. You're getting these items directly from manufacturers or authorized distributors, and Keystone, which is a common pricing model, is about 50% of what the item sells for. But for myself, I'm looking to keep my costs about 1/3 or less, and that can really only be achieved if you're selling pre-owned items or items that are going to be resold. As an example, there may be liquidation or salvage from a retail store that's going out of business. This is where these goods come from. You can also go to garage sales or thrift stores. So number one reason is I love the margins. I'm looking to at least double my investment every single time I purchase something. Number 2, I really do love the secondary market. It's my favorite part of selling things online because I like the idea of reusing, recycling. I love the circular nature of this type of stuff. I'm really into preserving the environment, and I think it's a really great way to make a living. I do believe we're living in like the richest time in history, and there's a lot of excess, and we should just be trying to reuse what we can. Number 3, I love hunting and negotiating deals. For me, it's not really as much about one-off items as it is about buying groups of one-off items. I like meeting people. I love negotiating larger deals. I'm not like on the level of American Pickers, but I do like meeting people and just negotiating a little bit of a larger deal. Number 4 is I'm currently super bullish on online retail in general. I just think right now we're still in the first half of the game. We're just barely learning how to sell things online. I think less than 20% of all goods are sold online still. So we're still in the beginning. And I feel like more and more in the future, people are downsizing. A lot of older people are taking up more minimalist lifestyles. They're renting instead of owning. They're getting rid of all these things in their home. That provides stuff for me to sell. And also these big box retail stores like Barney's New York going out of business means a lot of these stores are liquidating and getting rid of their stuff. And it's being more, it's actually becoming just like fewer and fewer people are selling retail, which means there's opportunities that I think are going to happen in the next 10 years or so. And I've decided to do reselling as my occupation seriously because I just feel like the market is really, really strong. Now you just need to decipher which products to sell. Okay, and 5. This is the most important one. It gives me a goal to focus on for a little bit of a longer period of time. 10,000 items is very hard. I've already spoken to just how unusual that is in the game of retail. The largest Amazon seller is PharmaPacks, and they do more than $1 million a day in sales, and they only have 10,000 SKUs in their whole store. But their margins they're not doubling their money each time they buy something because they're buying authorized products from big companies. You can't make that kind of margin on chapstick because it's expensive to ship and you're paying usually half or more to get the actual item into your store. So there are some bottlenecks that involve reselling that I'm going to go over right now, which are space. How much space do you have? How much time do you have? What are your relationships with suppliers? Knowledge, capital, and then your actual reselling systems. For me personally, the biggest bottleneck is going to be supply. Finding the goods to come into my store is the hardest part. The rest of it, I already kind of have an idea how to do. And I can, of course, just fill my store with junk, but I want to fill my store with stuff that's going to sell ideally in 5 months or less. And I'm going to use the 1% rule, meaning let's say you have 10,000 items. I'm hoping that at least 100 will sell per day. That's the lower end. As the store is small, it's going to actually be faster than that, because in the beginning, when your attention is really, really focused, your store should have a faster sell-through rate. Just keep in mind as you're growing your own store, for me, just to remind myself that as I have grown stores before in the past, your sell-through rate will traditionally drop if you keep adding SKUs, because your focus gets more and more stretched out. So for me, I want to narrow it down and just really sell in two categories. That is shoes and also Americana. That's just the two things that I'll enjoy selling the most. I'm going to be staying away from, for the most part, retail arbitrage or looking for clearance items, because it's just not my favorite part of reselling. Although I would say it's one of the easiest ways to get started, to just go to Walmart or Target or Ross and just look in the clearance section and look for those deals that are 90% off or more. It's hard to lose money on those, and you can return it within 30 days, especially if you work with bigger brands like, let's say, Nike, or you go to these other outlet type situations. Okay. Now here's where I actually need your guys' help. So a lot of you have been watching my channel for a long time. If you have Americana or shoes that you want to sell to me, please email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com. Let me know how much you want for them. I can send you a prepaid label, and you can go to Home Depot and get a medium-sized box and send it to me. I'm also going to include my mailing address in the description below to my PO box. If you want to just send stuff directly for me to sell, I can throw that into my list and get it going. I'm even totally down for donating that money to charity, or at least a percentage of it if you want to go that route. I know there's a lot of people who've overbought, so if you're looking to liquidate some of that supply, please reach out to me. I'm also going to be relying pretty heavily on a lot of friends. I'm going to be asking them and fellow resellers and saying, look, if you find shoes or Americana, let me sell it. So just text me or email me and let's get into it. Okay, so now this is the best part. I'm going to be sharing my progress along the way, and if you guys want to join me, you are welcome to join. I now have a free Facebook group. It's called the Reseller Collective. It's a private group, so go to the search bar, search Reseller Collective. Once you pop up, it'll ask you to read the rules, and it'll automatically let you into the group. Then you can go to this link, bit.ly/reseller check-in, every single day, and update us on where you are in your journey. So I'm going to give you guys the breakdown on how to run your business, which is basically a 4-step plan. Step 1, decide how much money you want to make. So let's say $52,000. That's a very common goal. It's $1,000 per week. You can do this to either retire early or replace your income or whatever. But let's just pick the goal of $52,000. We're going to divide that by 200 in this case, because that's the number of working days you have to list. So that's $260 profit per day. Take this $260 profit, and now you find out what your average profit is per item. So let's say it's $10. Now you need to list 26 items 4 days a week. That is going to equal $52,000. Then you're going to use the other 3 days to find those items, and then there's your business. Of course, easier said than done, but I would like you guys to check in using that link, bit.ly/reseller check-in, every at least 4 times a week. And the basic rule is don't miss more than 1 day in a row. So if you miss today, no problem. Tomorrow, just knock it out. Okay. Also, I have live office hours. So if you want to hang out with me or chat about a specific question, you can directly contact me during my office hours, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific. And I also have Wednesday evening at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Zoom. So you can join that. I'm probably going to post those episodes inside the Facebook group. And you can join those by going to patreon.com/dailyrefinement and signing up. That support really helps out. This channel does take a lot of resources to run, so I really appreciate the support there. You can also ask questions through there. And also, mentorship is available in the Facebook group for free. I set up a 13-step process. If you go through those 13 steps, you should get a basic idea of how to resell. Then take that knowledge and then just start doing it. Don't spend 19 hours on YouTube looking up how to do it from other people. Just start doing it with the basic knowledge. That's how everybody does it. Most of the people I know that have huge e-commerce businesses are self-taught. They're not spending a lot of money on expensive $1,000 courses. Okay, now I want to give you guys some rules to live by to make this really solid. Number one, spend at least one full day a week buying or concentrating on a specific niche. This is important. Don't just list every single day because you're never going to give yourself enough bandwidth to do the research. So one full day of purchasing. If you're working a full-time job, that's okay. Saturday and Sunday devoted to learning how to buy stuff and developing suppliers. Number two, list 4 times a week. So this is pretty straightforward. Just don't miss more than 1 day in a row. And with a reseller, you're going to have a flexible schedule if you do this full time. Again, don't just make sure you go at least every other day, and that'll be 4 days a week of listing. The third rule is try to list within 48 hours. When you buy something, so that your pile of unlisted items doesn't grow. This is a really big mistake that a lot of people do when they first get started, is they just start buying and buying and buying, and then they run out of bandwidth to list and they give up. So don't be that person. Try to list all new items within 48 hours. If you already have a lot of stuff and then you still want to go shopping, that's okay. Just make sure to list more items than you purchase. List 10, buy 5. Over time, your pile of unlisted things will go away. Okay, number 4. You really want to narrow down what you sell. This is really important. There's an awesome book by Greg McKeown called Essentialism. This book is awesome. It's disciplined pursuit of less but better. And that's how I look at my reselling thing. Even though I'm going for 10,000 SKUs, it's basically really specific shoes that I am buying over and over and over again, the most popular styles. My unfair advantage is that I live in an area with 7 million people. So depending on where you live, you want to look for an advantage of supply where it is that you live. Here, everybody has at least 10 pairs of shoes. That's 70 million shoes. That's probably on the low end. And I'm just basically cycling through and looking for ways to get those shoes to come to me. But you can essentially reach your goals faster by just narrowing your focus. This is really important, and this has helped me really grow over the years, is just focusing on less and less categories, less and less styles, just understanding the little nuances in each individual thing that you're selling. You're going to go a lot faster once you start getting some insider knowledge on your specific thing that you sell. Audible is a sponsor of this channel. If you want to pick up this book, I recommend it as basically your Bible on how to look for suppliers. There's a link in the description below, audibletrial.com/dailyrefinement. You can get this book for free if you haven't signed up for Audible before. And if you decide not to continue after the trial, you can still keep the book for free. Okay. Second part of this is I've started to realize that there's risk in every single action you take. So for example, if you decide to risk your time in researching a specific thing to sell, that's time that you're taking away from something else you could be researching to sell. So for me, this has been really easy to say no to lots of different projects, saying no to lots of different categories, because I know I'm not going to get good enough at the category that I want to sell in, which is shoes, if I divert my attention too far. I'm also doing this with specific people. It's easier because I don't have to say I don't want to spend time with you because you're a waste of time. I can just say, right now I'm focusing on this. Then there's no feelings hurt, there's nothing to worry about. You can just focus on your specific goal of building this, and then everything melts away. And I really like looking at it in a sense of that it's risky. It's too risky for me to spend my time over there. I'd rather just spend my time here and give myself a good chance to do it. So, okay, one more analogy with this, because this is really helping me out. So I recently have been learning a little bit about boxing. And the most efficient way to punch somebody is a straight jab. Okay, it's the shortest distance between your fist and their face. And that's how I want to resell. I want to have the shortest distance, most consistent things to sell, bread and butter. I just want normal shoes that everyday people can afford. Good prices, good items. I want to be below market. I want stuff with a proven track record. That's, in my opinion, a jab. Now, a haymaker, which is what you would try to swing at somebody if you're trying to knock them out, is going to require a big wind up your whole body. It's going to have to require incredible timing. The chances of those crazy wild punches actually landing on your opponent's face is almost none. And if it does, it may knock them out, but that's how a lot of stores that I review look like. They just have all these crazy haymaker items, super rare, unusual vintage pieces from whatever, and the chances of finding a buyer to buy that is so low. And so I'd rather you just build your store on just these jabs, these short bread and butter items. Then of course, when you find your haymakers, throw them into the mix, but I don't think you should base your entire business on that. So one more thought on this, and that'll be my last thought on this, which is great items don't need gimmicks to sell. You don't need the cross list items that are really good. You don't need to do promoted listings, which is pay for premium placement. You don't need to do fake sales, which is marking your item up and then discounting it down. They'll make it look like it's more desirable. It's just items that have a proven sales record. They've sold in the past. You can do that by checking sold listings. The way that you do that is you go to ebay.com or whatever platform of your choice, click on the sold section to find out the sales history of that specific item. And if your item doesn't have a sales history, you should probably not buy it. You want to buy things that sell frequently. And if you have less money, it's the opposite. You need to be more picky. If you have less money, you don't buy cheaper items. You buy items that are more popular. When you have more capital, then you can take a little bit of a risk and buy something that's cheap and may have a higher rate of return, but you're okay with waiting a little bit longer for it to actually sell. I call that long tail versus short tail. If you have a limited amount of capital, buy things that sell quickly so that you can get your cash back and you can make mistakes quicker and really build up that capital. Okay, so this is the last rule to live by, and this is the lean methodology in Kaizen, and this is like my favorite thing, which is talking about improving your existing listings and your processes. So this is the name of the channel, Daily Refinement. The reason why I switched from 10K on the Bay is because I feel like little improvements everywhere in your business equal huge overall improvements. So your accounting, your product research, your purchasing, your inventory management, your photography, your listing, your shipping, your customer service, that's a lot of stuff that can consistently improve. Just focus on improving that, and I promise you won't have any time to be distracted in other stuff. And also, this episode and all my episodes, this whole series is sponsored by my own reseller field guide. It's just a basic video course on all those things I just mentioned, and it really helps me out. If you pick that up for the channel, it's $35 with code YouTube. And that really helps me continue to make content. So I appreciate you guys. Right now, I'm at about 400 items. At the end of this series, I will be at 10,000 unique items, which is pretty awesome. So if you appreciate my content, please like, comment, and subscribe so other people can find this channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.